welcome to episode 71 of The Weekender.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, that was actually a little bit. It came out really rough. Hey, where's our sponsor?
Yeah, this episode we have a special guest. It's brought to you by none other than
Tom Shirt.
Tom Shirt. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Right, so, well, another great week. It started off this last week.
It was for you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I wasn't able to go anywhere fun.
Yeah, so this last Saturday, Women's Council had their installation of their board.
Really?
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was at this event over on Charleston and Wallapai called A Simple Affair.
Simple Affair.
Have you ever been there?
I have not, and I saw the photos. It looked like a really cool setup. They had a really nice social distance type outline, and
yeah, it was open for 50 people. They did a great program.
So they picked the 50 people, and you guys all showed up, and I saw you did a TikTok video, and
yeah, did you see Tom in the corner?
well, how could you miss him?
He was
didn't have
wearing
the
his
same type of shirt.
No, but big congratulations to Christina Kova-Simmons, who's going to be the president, and Bobby Stardust, who's president-elect, and the rest of the board there.
I think what's really cool about that is they were able to be creative in these times and still provide a great event, and so good on them for making it work. That's hard to do right now.
I'll tell you, it was also emceed by Julie Youngblood.
Oh, really?
And she's fun.
Yeah.
She's good.
She is.
It was good. So anyway, it was a great event, and then they did their Power Hour Zoom Tech Tips this last week too, and they broadcast that live from our office too.
Yeah.
So
They were able to utilize our setup and this lovely table.
And Beta.
And Beta. Yeah, you can't make it without Beta doing your video.
So, but that was good. I heard a lot of good feedback on that as well. So anyway.
Yeah, so a couple of things. First off, if you didn't know, they started the legislative session, and so appreciative to all of those that serve on the LMT, Legislative Management Team, and I happen to sit on that, not by choice.
Special thanks to you.
Special thanks to me. But no, they're already reviewing bills. I think we've already reviewed about 70 of them, and so the session is hot and running. Property taxes are going to be a big discussion, and so we're talking right now about the fact that property taxes in our state, at least the calculation of them, don't really make sense.
Don't make any sense.
Yeah, so they're talking about the caps and some ways to, bring in income to the state while also maintaining our industry and keeping things protected for that. One of the things that's really big about the session starting is that, all of the ability we have to fight these issues as realtors, and it doesn't matter what company you're with or what brokerage you hang your license at, comes from the PAC. And if you haven't made your pledge for our PAC yet, we're humbly asking you to do so. I'm committing to mine, as I know you've already committed to yours, and so we're definitely supportive of that. And if you made money or got a check at all in 2020, any big checks or little checks, it's all because of the PAC.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have already made some contribution with their dues.
Yep.
Which is a good thing too. So it goes to a good place.
Yeah, and it really is, like Greg Martin likes to say, it's an investment in your industry, and definitely I'm willing to spend some money to protect my ability to earn money in our business. But the other thing that most people don't know is if you give money to candidates, or even your party, like I've given to my caucuses in the federal entity, you can do it through us. And so definitely think about that as well. And if you're not a realtor out there, I'm not talking to you. I have to say that because I'm not allowed to solicit.
Because you can't donate to the PAC or contribute or invest in the PAC.
That's it. So another big thing that's come out is everyone's talking about it is the new NAR guidelines when it comes to Article 10-5. And for those of you that don't know, that aren't realtors, we, when you're a realtor, you're held to a higher standard. And you have said to everyone out there that you're going to run your business professionally and by our articles. And
you subscribe to our Code of Ethics.
Code of Ethics. And so this new conduct was brought forward with a lot of discrimination that we see out there, and I've always told my agents that I've worked with that be careful what you say in public, be careful what you post on social media, because once you post it, it's there for forever, and you're running a business, and you need to be cognizant of everyone has views. And so when you say horrible things or harassing things, there's no good reason for it. And so this new article is going to be there to basically say it doesn't matter whether you have a deal or you're transacting, you're always on camera when you're a realtor.
Yeah, and I think the intent of that's good, but I think we're going to have some
blowback?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to how it all settles out, because it doesn't take much to offend somebody.
Yep.
And I think initially we're going to see a lot of complaints going up until we kind of figure this out. But I think overall the intent is good.
Do you know that old saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of the best intentions NAR has ever come out with, to actually say that we will not put up with any discrimination or harming another party But there's a line between discrimination and giving your opinion, right? And most people out there hopefully can give their opinion without hurting someone's feelings, but there's no reason to ever discriminate.
I don't think you can. I think no matter what your opinion is, somebody is going to be on the other
On the other side.
And
Yeah.
but I think personal attacks and different things like that's a
It's gotta
different
stop.
thing. Yeah, it's totally got to stop. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes through. I anticipate a lot more though.
So you're coming in as board president on a local level, and the big thing that they're talking about on this is that, you know, these complaints will be filed. It used to be you had to have a real estate transaction for there to be a complaint filed on an ethics violation, and now that won't be the case. It's anything that you see as an infraction that you believe, and so it really will be on a local board level to kind of decide, you know, through that process.
But that's even the public can file.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I mean, you don't even have to be a realtor to file against a realtor on this
Yep.
thing. So again, just holding everyone to a higher standard. But so be careful.
Yeah, so, you know, be cognizant of what you post, and I won't post any pictures of me in a bikini out at the lake anymore.
Ever again. But seriously, I mean, you should be careful what you post anyway. I see all kinds of things on there, antitrust violation or
Oh, God, yeah.
potential, just based on commission discussions and different things like that. And there's just these big long threads.
That you put in writing.
Right, and it's just crazy, you know, and talking about new home builders and what they're paying and what they're not paying and
Yeah.
how they be. I just think especially if you're one of our agents, just stay away from that stuff. Don't even comment, don't just stay away from those posts.
It doesn't matter what someone else does, and that's the whole point. And a lot of these things are reactionary, right? If you set your standard of business and you held yourself to a high standard, and you said, this is what I charge, this is what I do, and let everyone else rise to meet you, you'd be better off than trying to, you know, fight the battle down with everybody else that's trying to lower the bar. One of the other things that came out, and this is kind of interesting, I was really excited to hear the news. The licensing requirements have changed a little bit for CE.
Yeah, you are excited. So it's an interesting thing. So if your license expires on or after October 31st of this year, you will now be required to turn in 36 hours of continuing education with your license renewal.
36, yeah.
October 31st. You know what's significant about that date?
I reduced September 31st.
And I renew October 31st. So this guy gets 24, I get 36, but nonetheless, at least we know now what that date is, and you know. So on or after October 31st, you need 36 hours.
So let's talk about CE classes, because this has always been something interesting to me, and I know we've heard this argument, you know, to sell your most prized possession, your home, the thing that you have most of your money set aside, your forced savings account, I only need to get 120 hours of class now to be able to do that.
Because that just went up.
That just went up. But to cut my hair, and don't say anything bad about my hair because it looks amazing, I've grown it out.
And I need a haircut.
You need a haircut. You need 1,600 hours. So what does that tell you about the public? We care more about our hair than we do about our house,
Hey.
right? But I think the whole thing with CE classes now, we only raised it 12 credits for 2 years. For a 2-year renewal, and we had a lot of people that went up in arms that they had to do that much extra just to renew. And I think the whole thing is we wanted to raise the bar. I don't really think that did it, but it did help.
It's a step to, again, path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, true.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. But remember, half of those have got to be live, which
Yep.
your Zoom classes now do still count as live.
And we do know that a lot of people would go online on the last month, and they would take, 12 hours right then in that last day, and then, that's waiting to the
So
last
now you're
minute.
going to have to do it in 2 weeks instead of 1.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to a little bit more planning. But no, and if you don't do it in time, there's a late fee of, what, $100? I think it's $100.
Yeah, something like that.
So.
The other thing that we've been talking about a lot on the show is inventory shortages, and a lot of people are competing to get their offer accepted. We had a great class here in our office today, taught by our very own Andrew Lunsford,
The Sasquatch.
the Sasquatch, on how to get your offer accepted. And I think, number one, it was very well attended. We had a lot of people here, socially distanced, masked up, listening to Andrew. And what I took away from it is that you've got to get proactive to get your offer accepted. You got to be out there actually pounding the pavement to find the properties. You got to get creative on, if the market won't give you the listing you need, go get it.
Go get it.
And presenting the offer.
Yeah, the other thing, if you missed it, it is up on our YouTube channel, and you can find that if you just do a search for Signature Real Estate Group on YouTube. We did broadcast that live on there, but it's there if you were in there and you want to go back to it, or if you missed it. So there was some great stuff, and I really think you got to get aggressive at this time. Stop just sending your offers in. Make sure you're calling the other agent.
Yeah.
And I know he covered all this stuff.
He did.
And here's some of the highlights. Just you got to attack the deal.
And I like hearing other perspectives, especially Andrew's. He talked about the fact that in the luxury market, you know, you have homes that are competing with multiple offers in $1 million plus price range. That's news, right?
Yeah.
So inventory is continuing to shrink. It went down 400 homes, or around 2,600. That's under a month now, and I think it's going to keep going. It'll keep going down. We talked about Washington County and Salt Lake. It only has 600 homes.
Salt Lake County.
Salt Lake County, yeah.
Salt Lake County, yeah,
Washington County's down here.
they had less than 700, just over 600 homes, which is
That's crazy.
not even a month's inventory at all. And so, and which creates more of a shortage because less people sell because they have no place to go.
Wow.
So it just kind of spirals down.
So let's talk a little bit about the state of Nevada and things going on. And I think that we've all kind of accepted this new COVID life that we live in. And remember, we were in the conditions of the moratorium, the phases that we were in. We were in phase 2 for a while, kind of like a website I was once part of. They had multiple phases. Never got to the end of it, but we're in phase
Kinda
2
like
or
this.
3
We're still stuck in the phase.
Yeah. But it seems like people have just accepted that this will be our life for a period of time. You agree?
Well, I think we've learned to live with it, so to speak, live
Yeah.
with the mask and we've been trained on how to go into the restaurant, you wear the mask,
4
you
people.
sit down, 4
Yeah.
people.
I'm very selective of where I spend my Friday.
Some are letting you do 6, and I heard the governor may be coming out to ease some of these
Yeah.
restrictions, but yeah, we're getting used to it, I think.
And I think one of the big things is, the governor has also noticed that jobs in our state, of course, is a massive issue. There was an article that came out this week about Resorts World, and they have 12,000 positions they're hiring for, and they had 85,000 applications.
Wow.
85,000. So that just goes to show you how many people, are out there in the job market. It's extremely competitive.
Had a better chance of winning the lottery.
Yeah, almost. and I think that's the whole thing. If you're considering a career in real estate, because it is a hot job market, now is probably the perfect time. Excited about the Super Bowl?
No,
No?
I'm excited. No, I'm excited for the Super Bowl party.
Right? I heard the commercials, that was a big bone of contention right now, as a lot of companies have had to downsize staff and everything else. And I believe it was Coca-Cola pulled out of a commercial, or it was Pepsi, I can't remember which one, because they didn't feel justifiable that they had to lay off staff
And then
pay
spend that kind of money.
for the ads. What do you think?
I think that's smart. I mean, especially even just for the PR of it, the
Yeah.
look of it on that side. But I also heard, speaking of 10,000 hours to get your license to cut hair?
No, 1,600.
1,600? Did you hear what happened with the Chiefs?
Huh.
So this was news that they have a barber that came in to cut the staff
On staff?
hair. No, they had some guy come in to cut the hair of the players and the staff and stuff. And they test him for 5 days in a row, right? Negative, negative,
Oh,
negative,
COVID
negative.
testing, yeah.
Yep. And then on the 5th day of testing, he's in there cutting hair, and the test results come back, and he's positive.
Are you serious?
No, they took him right out halfway through somebody's haircut.
Wow.
And then, but Mahomes was never sitting there, so that was on ESPN. I saw that. Shelley forwarded that over to me, so if there's no Super Bowl, you'll know why.
Well, people have been talking about that. A lot of states, a lot of realtors were going to be going to Hawaii in April for the big President's Circle event.
Your mom's going no matter what.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She's going no matter if they hold it or not. But they're talking about the fact that you have to quarantine for a period of time, get tested on your way in, and then quarantine on your way out. They have all of these guidelines. So it's not even like anymore you could just go on vacation for the weekend and go somewhere. You have all of these things to consider after it. Crazy.
Yeah.
I hit everything on my list. The only thing I thought was also interesting on the state level, did you hear about, people move into these rural areas and it's
Rural?
desert, rural, what did I say, rural areas? And they have animals like horses and goats and things like that. And they're like turning these animals loose. And so the animals get out there in the desert and they breed and, things, it happens. I can't explain it on the show. It's only 15 minutes. But so now they had to actually take water out to these reservoir basins that they have. They have 30 of them, 175,000 gallons of water for these animals that are just out there.
So now they're just wild.
I guess, yeah. I mean, but they're like, wild with no water, wild with water, but, they're being cognizant of it, but it's kind of crazy.
Wet and wild.
What?
I don't know where you
Why
were
didn't
going
I come
with
up
it.
with that?
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with it, so I just...
But anyway, that was one of their big things that came out this week that had a lot of contention, because those people were talking about rounding up of the horses and the wild horses that are out there and that they're, causing a problem, and now they're just weird. Debate.
Yeah, easy. Okay,
Debate.
so kind of wrapping things up here, as you see at the bottom of our screen, we have a way you can text SREG, which stands for Signature Real Estate Group, to our phone number, and that is just so you can get up to date on all the events, our trainings, different things like that. Text message go out with the links. And so if
The
you
links
want,
to these,
we
anything
haven't
we're
been
doing?
doing it to this, but we should,
Yeah, we should, yeah.
right? But if you want to know what's going on here at Signature and you want to be able to pipe into our sales meeting or any of the trainings like the one Andrew did today, just text to that number and you'll be added to our list.
I got one last thing.
I do too, so
Okay.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna talk about referrals, and one of the things I see happening right now is that people are moving out of state or in state from elsewhere, and a lot of agents don't know that that's a huge viable part of your business, that if you don't have referral connections across the country, you should, and we have a program for that. So regardless of what company you're with or where you're at out there, we'd love to help you place your referral with a great agent that we have in our referral network, and so just reach out to us, send me an email, send Brandon an email. And
Maybe next week we'll put that at the
We'll
bottom.
put
of the
that in a
screen,
text.
right? Put that in a text. So last thing before I let you go, Signature Agents, February 26th, mark it on your calendars, save the date, that's where our award ceremony. And so we're gonna hand out our awards, we're gonna do a hybrid of a little bit of live, max of 50 people. So that'd be for the higher producing agents that have earned the right to come to that event. But we're also gonna broadcast it live and do all the recognition, all the awards that we normally do. You're all gonna get your solid awards as well, but that will be broadcast live Friday, February 26th.
And I think it's important to all of our Signature agents out there. We apologize for not being able to do the recognition like we usually do, but every time we plan something, it got canceled by the governor's orders. And so bringing it to you virtually is the safest way to make the acknowledgement. But we had an amazing year. And I'm not just talking to those that killed it in a high production level. I'm talking about those that killed it at all. And we had a lot of people selling, one house a month, one house a quarter, that made a big difference in our marketplace and their business. And so that's really exciting, and they deserve all the recognition they're
Yeah.
gonna get.
We last year we did about 70 awards.
Yep.
This year it's up over 120.
That's awesome.
So production has gone up and more people are getting recognized this year, which is great. And it will be a live event, so it'll be broadcast live, so it'll be pretty neat to attend.
Very cool.
So-
Well, till next week, Batman.
All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on 72.
I feel the change coming, it's closer every day. I feel the waters rising.